It's a brand new year, people, and to start off this new year, 2026, the right way, I've decided it's high time I do something that has taken me a whopping 10 years to do. Finally sit down and watch the hit Netflix original series, Stranger Things. Somehow I missed out on all the hype and nostalgia of this show for an entire decade. But hey, now that it is completely, fully, 100% concluded, I figured I would sit down, watch the series, and share all my thoughts with you. Or at least that was the plan, until something far more interesting caught my attention. Conformity Gate, which got its name from a theory that in the finale, all the main characters are actually trapped in an illusion of normalcy after killing Vecna, the evil bad guy who kind of looks like a ballsack. This fan theory doesn't just stop there. It proposed that the many anticlimactic conclusions to characters and storylines, as well as numerous production errors, were all secretly done on purpose, and that the true final episode would release a week later on January 7th. But of course, nothing happened on January 7th, leaving fans with that hollow feeling that the show they've been watching for 10 years now just didn't end particularly well in their eyes. So much so that they were driven to madness, that all the little compounding issues they had with the finale was a purposeful masterstroke of genius from the Duffer Brothers, the people who created the show, rather than just facing their own feelings of disappointment. It's also worth noting, and this is partially why I waited to do this video, is that a documentary for the series was released on January 12th, but nothing happened with that either. Actually, one thing did happen that was interesting. People did notice that the Duffer Brothers were using ChatGPT at some point in their writing process. So if you want a possible reason for the decline in the quality of the writing, there you go. To give some of my thoughts on what little I actually have seen from the show, I don't really find it all that surprising that the finale wasn't really that great. Many of the visuals have become quite flat despite the super inflated budget. Actors have severely aged out of their roles and at times feel a bit disinterested on screen.
Please don't do this, please don't do this.
The dialogue has become a bit cringy. I mean, we can blame Netflix for this too, not just Duffer Brothers possibly using ChatGPT. And honestly, Netflix, that is frankly stupid and leads to worse writing to appeal to some people who won't pay attention to the show while they're watching it. And this isn't to say that shows can't evolve, but Stranger Things did start off as a very atmospheric mystery that over time ramped up the action more and more without actually killing off a lot of the main cast members in the finale. And I don't think you need to kill off characters to tell a good story, but if you're gonna have a lot of action and no one is really suffering the consequences for it, it does make it all feel a little bit flat in the end, especially because in the finale, most of the creatures that had been attacking the main characters throughout the series just aren't there. And the Duffer Brothers' reasoning for this, and for a lot of other things that people have questions about, is just, well, who knows, am I right? It's just maybe it happened off screen. I think the sad truth about all of this is that it just wasn't the ending most people were really hoping for. So much so that looking for clues and hidden meanings, like so much of the show itself was based around, made fans notice even more production and continuity issues that honestly a lot of TV shows have, but ultimately made themselves even more disappointed looking for something that just wasn't there. Should it have been there? Maybe, but this is the end of Stranger Things. However, even though there isn't a secret finale, there will be more to the Stranger Things franchise. Now, first I want to make note that there was actually a stage play, and this gave some insight on a couple of the characters in the final season, although most people didn't get to watch this play. I think that's a little silly. You would put lore tidbits in that play most people aren't going to watch, but hey, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point in the future a version of that play becomes more widely accessible. There's also an animated series coming out this year set between the time jumps of season 2 and 3, and who knows, maybe that will somehow give more closure for fans if they decide to have some scenes that are set after the series finale. Finally, there is a spin-off coming out with an entirely new cast, location, time period, but still within the same world of Stranger Things. And I think since that is supposed to be set after, not in the 1980s anymore, I think that is probably the biggest chance of following up the main series ending, however they decide to do it. So Conformity Gate is stupid. There's no secret finale, but Stranger Things as a franchise technically isn't over yet. Now, while I observed quite a bit of negativity in this whole research process for this video and figuring out what people are thinking with Conformity Gate, I must say there is still some good news from all of this, and I think that is people still care about and demand quality from what they engage with. And sure, I don't doubt that some of the demands from fans were extreme and a lot of the criticism was unfair, but if you passionately care about a show that took really way too long to wrap up, and they don't even bother to hide the fact that they used AI in the writing process in the official documentary, I would probably be mad too if I kept up with this series at all. It also makes me wonder, could we see TV shows employ secret finales in the future? I'm sure most people out there are all aware of this Conformity Gate thing at this point. It was all over the internet, for me at least. And it would be a cool thing for a show to utilize at some point. Although it wouldn't surprise me if quite a few shows try to capitalize on it now, and no one knows when a show is actually ending or not. But let me know your thoughts on this whole secret finale fan theory thing too. Do you think there was an honest chance of it happening? And do you think it's likely that a show will do something like this at some point in the near future? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments. Share this video with anyone else who might be interested. I know this topic has been covered a lot. Hopefully 2026 is starting off strong and we can keep up this energy. But until next time, take care.